ever asked about if you're getting a house built?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't know what the cost would be for like an inbuilt air conditioning. I know people tend to buy like air conditioning units separately
Like a
anyway,
wall
and
unit
they
or a window unit?
or just a standing floor one,
Oh,
like
okay.
which you could like it's they're pretty massive to be honest. They're a little
Yeah.
bit like bulky, but if and they're several £100s. But I don't know. I mean, for inbuilt air conditioning, I imagine it would be very expensive.
Do you is like central ducting, like you have furnaces that are in the middle of your house that push air like through the house, right? Heat, I should say.
Furnaces. I mean, I have a boiler which
And
push,
Do you
pushes
just
hot water.
you mean like what are it called?
Central heating.
like venting? Well, yeah, like central air or central heat.
Well,
No.
it's not air. We have closed like water heating systems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what are
Okay.
they called? There's a name for that, right?
I just thought it was central heating, but I could be
Well,
wrong.
there's like there's like
But
what
what's
do you
like a water heating unit called?
A boiler.
yeah, and there's
No,
also
A
that's where all the
radiator?
power is all the radiator. There you go.
radiant heat. Yes.
Yeah, radiator.
Oh no,
Um,
I mean the boiler is what heats the water. The
Yeah,
radiator
yeah, yeah,
just
I know.
holds the heated water. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Airplane.
Hello.
people- we're just talking about the fun world of heating houses and cooling houses.
I heard.
I'm
Mm,
complaining about being too hot and sweaty.
yeah.
Um,
What you North American lots need to remember is that our buildings are designed to keep heat in and not expel heat because we are majority a cold country. So when it gets hot, that's it. We're done for inside. Like opening a window does nothing because of how humid it is, and then none of the heat escapes because the houses are that well insulated.
that said,
Yeah.
though, most public buildings will have like air conditioning. Like it's just
Yeah,
that
public
houses and
ones.
homes don't like have
Uh,
them at all.
Mm.
yeah, I mean, I guess it also depends on the age of the public building and whether they're allowed to even make any improvements because a lot of them are protected.
Did we forget that I live in Canada? It's like a northern hell for half the year.
Canada, America, same thing. But your, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure your houses are quite similarly designed to Americans, right?
Yeah, I think our building standards are very similar, yes.
Yeah.
But I think what we or what I from what I understand is it's like our houses breathe a lot more than
Well, your
the
walls are
Europe.
thinner and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, you don't.
Like
Yeah,
Europe and UK, most of our buildings are all brick, even the walls
and
inside.
temperatures change quickly.
The good news is that it is generally a building standard now for like newly built public buildings and stuff like that to have air conditioning. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed not to, but I can't remember.
Oh
Great.
yeah, like the
Moving away.
newer buildings should have them. Just obviously depending on the age of the building and whether they're protected or not.
Oh, you see, now I would, except I have one already at my flat, but unfortunately, I'm not buying another one just for my parents' home. Like that should be their price to
Okay.
pay.
I missed the part where you're at your
Um,
parents' house.
oh yeah, sorry, I'm at my parents' house. They had a whole extension built and they didn't think to put like air conditioning in. I just anyway, sorry.
Say sorry. Was the most interesting conversation about radiators and air conditioning. How you doing, Fook?
Did he?
Oh,
Is he in the
great.
chat?
Yeah.
His mic was lighting
Oh.
up, but we don't hear him.
I didn't hear him
That's
enter.
My bad, I was muted, but yes,
There you
thank you for
go.
asking that. Fine. I've heard all the aircon and building types and all building conversations. So yeah.
How's it in your country?
We have aircon.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because in like Serbia, it's hotter than UK or like the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's a little bit more south, eh?
Yeah, definitely. It's like
Yeah.
on the same latitude as Italy, so we're definitely
Yeah, that's fair.
much apart.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the only places we have air conditioning is like office buildings, supermarkets,
Yeah.
and that's and like maybe like government buildings and that sort of stuff. But other than that,
I think this first summer I was living in the Netherlands, it was like 40 degrees. And I would just go to
yeah,
Albert
that
Heijn
was
just to
the
stand in the
hottest
chilled
summer
section.
ever.
Yeah. I would just go to Albert Heijn
Yeah.
and just stand in the chilled section just to keep cool.
Yeah, no, that was the hottest summer ever recorded. That was like
Mental.
2019.
Yeah.
Yes, that
yeah.
was the summer that
Mhm.
that was my first summer.
It was hot. It was hotter than Dubai.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, it was
absolutely ridiculous.
40 degrees was the hottest recorded temperature in the Netherlands ever.
Well,
Oh,
the
wow.
crazy thing is, I just spent like a week in Switzerland, and I was in the Alps at like 2,500 meters up, like in the air, and it was still like 30 degrees outside.
Yeah, crazy. That's insane.
The planet's boiling.
We get like 45 degrees out here regularly, so it's like it's
45.
Yep.
Jesus fucking Christ, that's desert, man.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
my dad's Egyptian, and he can't deal with the heat in the UK. I don't know how he lived his whole life in the desert and then came here, and
Dry
now
heat.
he's like,
Dry heat is different. It's
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
dry
is.
heat is very
We're-
different than humid heat.
We're also an island. It's so much worse.
oh, and
Wait,
just
are you
left.
in Ireland now?
No, we are an island. Like the UK is
We
an
are
island.
Oh, an island.
Yeah,
I
an island.
was like,
oh
what?
man, is an island.
Top of the morning to you.
Jacksepticeye. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, no, I mean the Netherlands is the same. We're like all water here, man. It's humid as shit. In Malaysia was actually also humid, but for some reason I was okay with it. For most of it, some days were pretty rough. But, yeah. I'm still at my parents' home as well, by the way, at the moment. I'm running this from my laptop again, which I can't wait for the moment I'm going back to Groningen, to the city I live, so I can have my actual setup. I've missed that.
Yeah, I'm currently surviving on an iPad, so.
Ah, great. That's gonna be really cool running combat.
Well, I was about to say, I'm really hoping we're not doing any combat today. But if we are.
Well, that all depends on what you guys do.
First person I see, I'm attacking.
Yeah. Did you do some prep for the recap?
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, kind of, but also not in. Like, I can do like the first half of the session, but basically, I couldn't watch the recap when I was actually like traveling and stuff. So I only did the parts that I could remember, and then I left halfway through anyway. So, a bit annoying.
Yeah, we'll do our best because it's been a while. How long has it been? Like 4 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah, like a month. Yeah.
What's funny is Luca's last message in the chat was, "This is just part one. Part two next week."
Ouch. You know, Roll20 doesn't show time, so he might have just said that last week. Just random. Yeah, there you go. Alright, I rolled 221, which is gonna be...
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you for substituting for Alex. It's gonna be, do you forgive easily when someone apologizes for hurting or offending you? It's an easy one. We can answer this as both the character or player, whatever you want. Also, hey everyone that's watching on Twitch or a VOD on YouTube. I'm Job. I'm the DM for tonight. This is our party. It's like we said, it's been a while, for us at least. A month since we played, due to the DM traveling and stuff and not having great schedules and all that. But now we're back, at least for this session. we also have some trouble with scheduling and stuff just in general through players as well. So we'll see how it goes in the upcoming weeks. I guess we have to find out like a new ideal playing time, right? If there is a new ideal.
Yep.
But for now we're here. So this is Change of Asmodeus Revised. Campaign that's gonna lead our players through the 9 hells. We're currently in Sigil still, kind of at the beginning. Well, we're gonna hear all about what's been going on in the recap a little bit after this. Before we do, we have always a Fexpiration, which is a question that they can answer. The players can answer in either in character or as a player. And once they do, they get a D10. Yes. A D10 that they can use on any roll 20 or D20 roll. They can use it on roll 20 as well. Yeah, so that's what that question is about. Anyone want that one? I've not seen any rolls. Oh, there we go. 15.
Are we breaking
Anyone
into?
else?
We're breaking into a bank today, right?
I mean, you guys. We'll see what's going on after we do the recap, and then you guys can decide what to do. Oh, just beating out.
Oh wow. Okay, I see how it is.
We're also missing one player, Alex or Crusher, as he plays that character. Is not with us at the moment due to those scheduling issues. Not too bad. So we'll do our best to get everyone back for the next session, but no promises. All right. Anyone else competing with the 16? Oh. Now I kind of want to see planes roll as well and see if it's like a if it's 2 16s and 2 15s, that could be kind of. Yeah, all right. Well, at least a 5 is in there. Alrighty. That goes to Phoenix as well. So both the recap and the Fexpiration will go to Phoenix, which means I guess you will have 2 D10s to add to her rolls in this session.
I feel like I should let somebody else have the recap one because I honestly won't be able to speak on like the last half of the session. So
we can. Time is just an illusion, right? We can just do 3 hours or 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Doesn't matter for me. Because I rather want everyone to be there for the whole session if we're already missing a player. So like if we can only run 2.5 hours. Alrighty.
oh, I mean for the recap, like I from the last.
Oh,
session.
that's what you mean. Oh, okay. Well then, nah, yeah. I mean, you earned that role. So, and you already said that you wanted to do the recap. So.
I know, but I should. Well, yeah, that was before I realized I couldn't watch the rest of it. Okay.
You've earned it fair and square, both things. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're fine. Go ahead.
Wait, what am I doing first? Answering the question.
The recap. No, the recap. Recap
Oh,
first.
recap.
It's kind of we do usually do the question just so that people can think about the question, do the recap then, and then answer the question. But I guess because you're doing both, you can do it in whatever way you want. But yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'll start with the recap and go as far as I can because then someone else is gonna have to take over anyway. So
Sure.
So we basically decided in some sort of break time to go to the ladies' ward, named after the Lady of Pain, to go to a sort of like weapons or armory kind of place, I think, or like a blacksmith. I can't remember the exact details of what it was called. Al shouted, "Today we go shopping," and we all jumped in the air, and there was a freeze frame. And then, so when there, I know there was a weapon that Al wanted that then I don't think that he could get. And I think it
The
was
Black
then...
Razor.
Yes, that's the one. And then
Yeah.
Was it Ios asking about the Sunblade?
I think he bought the Sunblade.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the big.
He
was not
grey-
sure.
Yeah,
The
Luca
grey
was
man.
attempting to buy it for him, so he felt he bought it himself.
Yeah, so you guys began the session in like the Tinker Shop. Who knows the name?
Grundlethumb's.
Grundlethumb's Scribes and something shop. He said that you had about 4 hours, I think, or something, or 6 hours, something like that. To spend until 6 p.m. You had like it was 1 p.m. You had like 5 hours, I think. There you go. Grundlethumb's automatic scribe and printer. But you had to wait about 5 hours before he got both, or at least the one document, the document get into the vault. That's like a port key, I guess, as well. To get that one going and ready for you guys to use, he had to spend at least a few hours, and then get the other one, which was vaguely not that necessary because of Blaine's convincement, or Al, sorry, you played Al. Yeah, you guys had to spend some time, went to the shop, or like went to the weapon armory thing. Met some Ifriti, which are these fire genies from the plane of fire. One smaller one, and I pointed you out to a giant called the gray one, I think.
Yeah,
have
the
him.
grey one. Well, that was
Yeah.
like not his real name, but that's what everyone calls him.
Yes, because he was what you call a person that can speak, a mute, I guess, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he was a mute because he lost his tongue somehow. And he now used a wand of major image to kind of draw out his like speak, pretty much what he wanted to say. And yeah, like you said, he sold a Sunblade, which Ios, after some deliberation, did buy. First, you didn't want to, right, Ian, or something?
Yeah, I thought maybe it would. Oh no, because it didn't have any chance to take on Elden but
Yeah, that was
yeah,
you
we're
tried
gonna go
to bond it,
different
but
way.
the one in that hides within the blades actually needs a blade, and the Sunblade is more like a lightsaber. So that's why you couldn't bond, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is fair. That seems fair. But you bought it nonetheless, just as like a you have your own reasons why you think it's a good idea, I think, but never bad to have a backup, I guess, as well.
Agreed.
And yeah, you continue, Phoenix, if you want.
Well, that is unfortunately as far as I got, because that's where I ended up leaving the session. So there's like the
Oh, you
second
did?
hour.
Oh, damn, that was so early already. It wasn't
Well, that
that
was
early.
like there was only 2 hour. It was only a 2 hour session.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, true.
after
That
the
was
first
yeah,
hour.
that's fair. Okay, so after that, you guys went to the Forge of Doom, the actual like big forge in this great hall of like all kinds of different forges. It was an interesting building as well because it was meant as the armory and the kind of this weaponsmith and armor smith kind of at the center of Sigil, which is saying something. Sigil is enormous, the size and population. But this was the place for that, for at least the creation of all that, and some selling. All kinds of different forges from all kinds of different planes and societies and races and that sort of stuff. Forge of Doom was the most central one, the biggest one, and was being operated by the other Freety that you guys met. He was a direct right hand of the Doomsguard, who were the kind of faction, one of the factions in Sigil. This faction particularly was used as kind of a military force in Sigil, guard force, guard, right? And their leader, the Factal, was not inside at the moment, but had a right hand that was a very large Ifriti. There you go, Vector Sarin of the Harmonium. But he was a very large Ifriti that was operating the Forge of Doom. In a very precarious position as well. It was like upside down or something, I remember telling you guys about. You guys walked up to him, got some information about the Black Razor that Al was looking for. Which, by the way, is inherently kind of, I think, an evil sword. So Al even more leaning towards his sort of seeping into the alignment there.
Naturally, the 9 helps.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, throughout this campaign. But you might have like a very, very obvious split between good and evil at the end of this campaign. You guys can deal with that on your own. That's your party. But yeah, you got some information about the Black Razor. It was present in the armory here in Sigil, but was recently sold to none other than Mammon, the Lord of the Third, I believe. Also known as the Lord of Greed, the Lord of Coin, and just an overall greedy archdevil that, buys a lot of things and then probably keeps it in a hoard forever. That's what the Black Razor was sold to, or at least a representative of him, because you guys heard the name. Who can help me out? Where is this name?
Of whom are you talking about?
The representative of Mammon.
Melchon.
Melkon, or whatever you wanna, however you wanna. A gilded devil, which is a very rare but apparently existing devil, as this one was a representative of Mammon. Yeah, that one. And that's kind of the information you guys got. Other than that, I don't think you had any leads towards Malcolm or whatever, but you at least knew now who the buyers were. With that information, you guys left behind. Before I actually forget, from the gray one, you also got a soul coin. You bought one. This one was charged. But yeah, you got a soul coin from the gray one, and with that, you guys left, and then wanted to go to, I believe, the library, right? Or was it the wizards?
The sorcerers.
Yes,
When they in
Tower.
the same building, or like right next to each other, like the same quarter.
They were in the same ward.
Yeah.
On the way to the one we passed by another.
Yes. Yeah. Let me. Forge of Doom. I actually need to pull up the PDF I was using for this. Here. Just give me a moment here. Where the fuck? Anyways, you guys went towards the with a few hours left before you guys had to return to Grundlefun's shop, automatic scribe and shop. You guys decided that the wizards or the arcane tower was a good way of spending your remaining time. But on the way over there, you actually encountered something very rare. The Lady of Pain herself was spotted in the streets. I think from some information that Alia knows, Phoenix Place, she was she is the pretty much sole ruler of Sigil. She looks over the city, decides who gets in, who doesn't, which connected to this crisis you guys are dealing with, what the whole reason why you guys are in this whole conundrum with Grundlephone's print shop is very peculiar. But she controls the portals, she controls everything pretty much in the city. She's the one that keeps out any deities or archdevils or very powerful beings from entering the city, and thereby also she keeps complete control. She sometimes visits the city, and nobody really knows where she lives. The Ladies' Ward is one of the districts in the city, but it's just named in her honor or by fear or whatever you suspect being. But it's not actually a place where she supposedly lives. Nobody really knows where she goes if she isn't seen. And when she's seen, people have different reactions. Some strike in fear, others look in awe. Most people try and look it away just out of the sheer stories that they heard by the Lady of Pain being able to look at someone and imprison them forever if she so pleases. But yeah, you guys, we ended the session with you guys encountering the Lady of Pain, or at least seeing her float through the streets as she does. That is where we ended. Anything else important that I've missed? Or Phoenix missed? You guys can come up with it. I know it's been a month.
Nope, that's about it.
Right. Yeah, then you have one expression for your first half of the recap, and then you can also answer the question. Do you forgive easily when someone apologizes for hurting or offending you?
I think, interestingly, as myself, probably yes, like maybe a bit too much sometimes. And as my character though, Dahlia, no, she doesn't trust anyone. She is very much like an independent, toxically independent human who pretty much walks away at the first sign of somebody being horrible or offensive or or just fights them.
So would you say you want to kind of be more like Dahlia in real life?
Not necessarily. I think I enjoy.
Probably not fight them.
No, yeah, and I do think that either extreme is not good, you know, but like I do prefer being somebody who is generally forgiving rather than not being forgiving, but also, yeah, having more boundaries is probably always a good thing sometimes.
Good balance between the two, maybe.
Exactly.
All right.
He is.
Fair enough. I in my opinion, it kind of really depends on what you're forgiving, right, or what you're apologized or hurt for and stuff. But yeah, in general life, I think a forgiving quality is pretty good. But yeah, you have to set boundaries as well.
Yes.
Tricky one, actually. All right. Get your frustration for that. So you have two. Keep that in mind. 2d10s that you can use on any roll you have within the friendship.
Lovely.
And without further ado, I think we are ready to continue here. So, Let me actually pull this up to describe it again. Yes. All right. So I'll just read to you again what I read ending the session last. There we go. The air grows hushed as the Lady of Pain drifts through the streets, her bladed shadow gliding across the walls and cobblestones without a sound. Onlookers avert their eyes, falling into an instinctive silence, the very city seeming to hold its breath. Without a word or glance, she passes, an untouchable force, both guardian and enigma, Sigil, the Lady of Pain. What do you guys do? You guys are just walking through the streets from, I think, the Lady Ward towards the Cleric's Ward. Yeah, Plane's gonna kill her.
Who?
imagine if that was a nat 20.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Dahlia. Is that the lady? Have you seen her before?
Good
Yes,
question.
only in passing, but yes, that's her.
Is an audience with her something we could dare request?
So, Dahlia, you know that the Lady of Pain is not really a talker. On the contrary, nobody has ever heard her speak a word. She is more like a watchful guardian, other than a lady that actually goes and does meetings and stuff. Nobody even knows who she is. She always wears a mask and has thereby no expression on her face or no recognition point. No skin shows through her outfit as well. Everything is covered. A very mysterious ruler, the ruler of Sigil.
Yeah, I guess nobody's ever really heard her speak, or even dared to try. Well, nobody that I know, nobody that's alive, anyway.
Is there a way to gain her favor?
Good question. Is this something I would or wouldn't know?
To gain the favor of the Lady of Pain is to just stay out of her way. She is rumored to have not only the control over the City of Doors, but also have this kind of demi-plane that she uses to imprison her foes in. It's called the Maze, and it's a demi-plane of pretty much what the title says, the infinite maze that she traps her foes or the ones she judges have wronged her or the city. Yeah, any favor that you could ask from the Lady of Pain is just to stay out of her sight, as her decisions on who gets to be sent into the maze are quite um, irrational sometimes to the mortal eye and mortal understanding. Um, People don't really know what they can expect from the Lady in Pain, and thereby mostly just try and stay out of her way. Thereby also the reaction that you guys are seeing now in the streets, just people mostly looking away or even going inside, hiding and stuff. There's there are some that are kind of like trying to peek an eye through, or maybe do like a little temptational look towards the Lady of Pain, but most of them are kind of just more scared than anything else.
We we all know that she's sort of planar travel averse. No, not travel. What is it? Threat averse. Like she doesn't like threats from other planes in Sigil.
she has made, and that is why Sigil is such a mix of all kinds of creatures and alignments and planes and that sort of thing. She has made it impossible for other gods or other powerful beings like archangels or demon lords or stuff to enter the City of Doors. Um, Therefore, you have kind of this monopoly that she has in terms of power. Anything else that could even begin to rival her, she is locked out of the city, no matter who or what it is.
Do we have any information that is contrary to this, gang? Like, have we heard or seen about anything trying to get into Sigil that is powerful?
Only me.
So no.
Wow.
I would say
You
that
have
was
heard.
offensive there.
You have.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding. It's a
Jesus.
joke.
You have heard of the presence of these archdevils like Memnon, right? Buying the Black Razor, but he does it through a representative. So he's not actually here himself. Um, and that's the only thing you would hear probably if you wanted to look into this, where there's no actual being that is even close to her power that's within the city. She makes sure of that. Apparently, she has been doing that for thousands of years, however long this city has existed, which nobody really knows.
I think we could take her.
I'm. I wonder if she'd be
I think it
interested
would
in
be a big mistake.
Yeah, but like, if no one can travel away from here or into the Nine Hells, I wonder if she didn't be interested in that information or how that could affect her.
She, like Dahlia, as I think told you before, she is definitely aware of the issue as she controls every, or as supposedly she controls every portal and like every teleportation thing inside the city. Allows it, is aware of it, whatever, right? Pretty much godly awareness of everything that's going on. But
Well, she
still,
must be, I guess, then pretty unhappy with the state of things.
yeah, you would suspect if this wasn't her doing, which is hard to believe because, like I said, she in the past has had complete control over everything, really. As far as you know, if this isn't in her doing, this is pretty much the first time that somebody else is controlling the teleportation either in or out of the city, specifically to the Nine Hells. But still, this is very strange if it isn't her doing.
Maybe we can try to, I don't know, somehow communicate to her that we want to find out who's doing that, like who's messing around, if it's not
Ooh.
her.
Maybe we stage a discussion in the streets.
By the way,
a-
at this point, she's floated kind of by, because you guys have been
maybe we
discussing
catch
this.
up to her and stage a discussion on the streets.
Yeah, she's not flying real fast. She's kind of the only ones you would know that you could talk to are the dabbas, which are the ones that you see on the picture here, these gray, white-haired floating things, humanoids. They communicate in the words riddle things, so it's quite hard most of the time for you to communicate with them. But they are pretty much the servants of direct servants of the Lady of Pain. They are the eyes and the ears and stuff. And they're the only ones that kind of well, they fear the Lady of Pain, of course, like everyone does in this city, but they also serve her out of loyalty and respect, something that is uncommon to most others.
So maybe trying to talk to them first then.
Oh, we're not gonna do the performance thing? Okay.
Sorry, I mean, I get a bit stressed under pressure, so.
Last time I tried to perform, I was held against my will until I faltered in front of the entire crowd. It was terrible.
It's okay,
Um,
Ios. Everybody gets those days. It's just stage fright. You'll get better.
I
well,
heard Al has stage fright in a different way.
Excuse you.
Sorry,
I
what?
think that's why he's compensating with the tongues.
I was.
I'm sorry,
Wow,
I've just
Dahlia.
met you, Dahlia. The fuck are you? Do you want your tongue to be the next edition?
I dare you to try and take it. Yeah, that's
We
what I thought.
need to get into the 9 hells, people.
Yeah.
Are we going to do this? Are we going to do this and have a discussion with them, or are we going to go straight to what was it? The Sorcerer's Tower?
No, yeah.
Yeah, let's try at least to see if we can reach one of those head floaty people and try and see what they have to show.
Actually, it's the maces, not the maze. It's the maces. Multiple, apparently. Dense labyrinth of empty streets and alleys. Yeah. All right. You guys want to talk to some Devises? I think that's the plural.
Go ahead, Luca.
Heck yeah.
All right. They're actually, I mean, being the servants of the Lady of Pain, and the Lady of Pain being pretty much just having passed you guys' presence, there are actually some Devises in the vicinity. Some are following the Lady of Pain. Some are just kind of around. Yeah, there are some floating about.
Luca, you're pretty good at talking, and maybe we could frame it as being of assistance to the Lady of Pain, as to maybe whether questioning her power over planar travel.
Yeah, sure. I'll try and do that. I'll find one, and knowing how
Alright.
they speak in like minor images and stuff like that, I'll try and communicate with them by common tongue to see. I think they can understand it, right?
You've never tried, but you're about to find out as you see two. They usually travel in pairs, as they talk with each other, and you can see these minor illusions of like they literally talk, and like you've done those puzzles, right, where it's like car minus c is r e r, and then plus e r, and then you go like that. That's how they talk.
Right. Okay.
This is not my doing. This actually is the fucking way they talk.
Yep.
So not common tongue then.
Well, they've been talking to each other as they kind of pass slowly by. After the Lady of Pain has kind of crossed by, they start talking towards each other. Um, in terms of the like quickness of their illusions and stuff, and this manner of talking, you have no idea what they're saying as it goes too far too fast, and you're a little bit far away. You might be able to figure out what they're talking about if you're a little bit closer, but you walk towards them, and they kind of one of them finishes one of its minor illusions, and then looks kind of at you approaching, and you see. I'm not gonna do it for everything we talk about because it's gonna take ages, but you see him with minor illusions form like the question, the word riddle. Hello there. Why are you approaching?
Okay, I'll try in common to say, we're perhaps asking uh, for the unique happenings in the city. We've heard the planar travel has been in question as of late.
Indeed, to the 9 hells specifically.
Oh, specifically. Okay.
And a particular group specifically.
I'll ask. What do you mean by a particular group? Is it only people from the material realm, or?
The other Devis will answer this, and you kind of have to kind of literally look with your gaze towards him as the words will like appear. Kind of, it's like the white hair that always flows upwards. They're kind of slowly falling. It serves like as a backdrop pretty much for the word riddle, like minor illusion things. So it's always a clear like thing. Not it covers it not entirely, but it helps. And he begins to say and says, only types that represent explorers, adventurers, or warriors, mostly from the material plane, but from here as well.
All right, that's interesting. I'll ask.
Like you, he adds onto it.
Ooh, okay. uh, so were there perhaps any knowledge or efforts being made into solving that, or would you even want to see that solved?
We don't know exactly what the Lady of Pain does, but she controls every in and out of the city. If there is an issue with this, then she has something to do with it, for sure.
Right.
We serve her, the Lady of Pain, and whatever is her intent, we follow.
Well, we have limited knowledge on your lady, although we're trying to stay in her best light and do as much as she pleases. But if at all you have a need of us, we would be willing to offer our services for any aid to your lady to see this issue solved. We too have a need of planar travel, especially to the Nine Hells.
We're not sure if it is an issue. The Lady of Pain doesn't do issues, really.
Right.
She decides what happens. She always has. And if this is at the moment the case, then she surely has decided it so.
Yeah, I meant more like maybe like there's some person that she doesn't want to travel to the Nine Hells, so maybe like take care of him. Not like that the travel is an issue, more like that it's a measure to prevent the issue.
We understand, the other Debis now says. We have no information about who, if she's trying to prevent anyone from traveling in or out. But we can assure you that the Lady of Pain doesn't need help with anything that she's doing. She is almighty.
That she is. All right. Well, thank you for the information at least.
That's what we're here to do.
And I'll just stand there looking at the last image above their heads and just turn to the group and
As it slowly disappears in front of the white flowing hair, they kind of both nod towards you and then turn around and float away, kind of in the direction that the Lady of Pain has disappeared into as well.
I'll approach and just say, that's very, very difficult to understand, mind you. And I can understand all languages with some time, but that's very difficult. But anyways, I don't think whatever is happening is beyond her understanding or capabilities. I think we're not gonna find a way to solve it right now. So our best bet is still the bank.
So it sounds like she potentially is in control of whatever's going on,
Yep.
which could
And
mean that
maybe.
she's either trying. Sorry, say again.
No, no, go ahead.
I was going to say it could mean that she's either trying to stop someone from getting to the Nine Hells or stop someone from leaving the Nine Hells.
Yep, I tried to ask, although they don't seem to know anything about that. They don't know like exactly her thoughts, just I guess they enact her will.
Interesting.
Exactly what they do. And it could be. By the way, this is what as Remius has kind of heard your thoughts about it. He's been quiet so far, but he seems to now speak up and says, "It could also be that there's it's not her doing from this side, but it's something else from the side of the Nine House, right? If it's only that particular location, it might be, if it's like maybe a crow that you send between cities. It's not this city that is trying to keep in or block out the crows, but it's the other side, the other city. So not Sigil, but the Nine Hells.
So, in that case, I guess the reason she wouldn't be, or there isn't really an issue, is because it's not even within her realm to begin with. So it's not a decision that she's made, and it's not something.
Could be. I don't know. Maybe it is her decision. I'm not very versed in this Lady of Pain sigil kind of thing. We most of the time traveled directly to the Nine Hells when we could. Hell Riders of Elturel. It's in the name.
Right, although it does pose a question why, when we tried to travel to the Nine Hells, we ended up here.
Yes, that is particularly peculiar. Maybe it's being diverted, or something went wrong, or
Yeah, but
someone else sent us here.
yeah, but if somebody is sending like all the adventurers that trying to go to the Hells into a sigil, I suppose I mean that could be a potential problem for her. I'm not saying that those who are going into the Hells are all bad, but there's a certain type of adventurers that want to go to the Hells.
That's true.
Some not to save the world.
Yeah. I mean, if she's allowing it, then she doesn't see it as an issue, I guess.
Yep, true. Although, and like you said, Alia, she can just like wisp anybody to her prison. So, yeah.
Yeah, if it turns out to be an issue, then I guess there's not much you can do while within the city. You're kind of just screwed.
Well, I've told them that if if at all they have any need, we're available. I mean, I spoke for the group, but I suppose you don't mind.
Oh, I want to get to the Hells just as much as you are, so
All right.
I have people to save. The ones we left behind.
I say,
You guys are.
so,
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, might I suggest we move on from this then and consider this a bit of a dead end for now, and head forwards.
Sure enough.
Alrighty.
So I looked at the words again, or the places I suggested last time. In the cleric's ward, you have like we said previously, the tower sorceress. Is a spiny spire of unknown material at surface shifting in a pool of oil. Blah blah blah. It is the kind of main point of magic and stuff within the city, or at least magic users and that sort of thing. You also, what I mentioned was the Hall of Records, which is kind of a college as well as a archive within the city.
That's neat.
It also has vaults and stuff, like the bank, but more for like documents that are secret or prohibited for normal readers, visitors, whatever.
Documents, you say?
Yeah,
We're in
I
the
mean, it's an
market for
archive.
supplements.
It's an archive, so it's also a college for the learned.
Ooh. All right.
But not really focused on magic, but more it has records of magic and stuff, but that's not its main focus. It's more like a college of the historians and the truth.
Nice.
Yeah. And then you
But
also
there'll
have you also have the Hall of Speakers in the Cleric's Ward, which is basically kind of your parliament, really. It's like where all the Vectals come together and represent their interests and stuff for the city. Speakers podium for debates, that sort of thing.
Alrighty.
And then you have the Greenwich, which is like a big garden kind of festival terrain and that sort of thing. And then the Hall of Information, which is within the Hall of Records as well, and it's like for translating and that sort of thing.
So that's the same building then, I guess.
Hall of Records and Hall of Information is within the same building, yeah.
Okay.
But the one of Hall of Records is basically the recording of all the documents, and the Hall of the receiving and translating of all the documents. So it's like they are very well connected with each other, but they do different jobs. There's also the notice for like odd jobs and like mission boards and stuff. Outside. Yeah.
Right.
So where do you guys want to go? You still have a few hours left. I would say 2 or 3 hours maybe till the designated time for you guys' retrieval of the forged document for the bank.
Do we want to stick with our original plan? I feel like we'll be paralyzed with choice if we look at every single thing, but if there's someone really wants to go to.
I cannot remember why I wanted to go to the Hall of Records.
Yeah, that's for you guys.
You say that maybe we could find some information on the devils, but nothing specific.
I also mentioned that there was a tattoo shop.
The what?
A tattoo shop, not in the Cleric's Ward, but in the Hive Ward.
Does this
I
tattoo
remember
shops
that
do?
because I'm now looking at messages, and I have like a Discord message from Alex saying like, "Could I get this tattoo if we go there?" So now I remember that I mentioned that as well.
Does this tattoo shop do tattoos of the Eldritch nature?
You don't know.
Damn it.
But I'll say this, Dahlia, you know that this tattoo is being run by a Debus. One of those like white-haired gray things your friend was just talking about, or talking to. This guy has kind of he's said to have kind of abandoned his job in serving the Lady of Pain, and now is doing tattoos.
Interesting.
Well, it's rumored that he's maybe shunned by the Lady of Pain, but that's a weird thing for the Lady of Pain to do, because usually when someone irritates her or threatens her or fails her, then she just sends them to the mazes.
It would be good to know how he survived being sent to the mazes, I suppose. Or what happened, I guess, between them. So I guess the decision is, do we go to the tattoo shop or do we go to the Hall of Records and Information?
Or the Sorcerer's Tower.
No, there's a tattoo shop. I have so much money to burn.
So,
I'm happy to go there.
Get a sick tat to match my new hair.
God.
I mean, I don't know if it'll be so sick, but
Hey, you take that back, you motherfucker. Haircut
you're
is
right.
special.
I'm responsible for your haircut.
You really are.
He's usually so good. All right, let's go to the tattoo shop.
Maybe you can get something tattooed on your bald head now and just like cover up the damages.
I have a plan for my hair.
There's you could probably find some like either in the Sorcerer's Tower or somewhere else like some barber shops or beauty shops or whatever that have some either herbs or magic for your hair problem.
Gonna make a deal with the devil, to be fair.
Hey, can I have the most luscious hair there ever is? And it never goes away, please. All right. Where are you guys going? Tattoo shop?
Sure.
Yeah, we can check out the tattoo
Okay.
shop. We've got time.
That is within the Hive Ward, which is a good while away. But you guys will be able to make it there, of course, as you have your private toot, a guide from the city. While traveling towards the Hive Ward, you guys travel through the Clerics Ward, and then through the lower wards, and then eventually into the Hive Ward. Hive Ward is really the slums of the city. You arrived here when you teleported in, as you came to the what's it called?
Poop.
The Grease Pit. The Grease Pit is the kind of pool you guys went into, which is also located within like a food market kind of thing. But you pass that, as you've seen that probably enough. And you actually make your way towards well, you guys would know this route a little bit by now, as it seems that you guys are going back to the Smoldering Corpse Inn, as Dahlia leads you through. But other than following the exact same route, you guys eventually come towards the Smoldering Corpse Inn, but take a small right just before entering or like passing Smoldering Corpse Inn. And make your way towards what seems to be a oblong kind of shacked down street. Like I said, just kind of to the right of the Smoldering Corpse Inn. You see a pearl kind of colored lightning bolt above the door of what seems to be the building's entrance. It's not much more than a sort of renovated shag, kind of black color, which contrasts good like across the kind of lightning bolt that is painted on the door or above the door. I mean. You see some light coming from the inside, but you can't much see inside from where you guys are standing, as seems to be quite dark, other than this small light within the building. And there are some people and creatures around. It's kind of quiet here, inside this kind of little alleyway near the Smoldering Corpse Inn. You hear shouting and music and stuff coming from the bar, from the inn. But you've kind of left that behind as you enter this alley. Who wants to enter?
Come on, y'all wanted tattoos. Go on.
But I'm scared.
I mean, I'll just go in.
All right,
I
Dali,
am.
you've led them so far, and you might as well continue. You've never been to this place, although you've heard from it, of course, by its particular owner. Um, you've never visited itself yourself. You open the door. As you do, you see, like I said, some a small kind of white light that is kind of illuminating this room. It seems a little bigger than you would actually imagine it looking from the outside, but still a moderate space. Um, it is filled with all kinds of ink bottles and like files, that sort of thing. You also see that there are all kinds of what seems to be minor illusions just floating in the air. Shapes and drawings of creatures, all kinds of things. And near the white light is a chair, which is unoccupied at the moment. A Debus, who is still in his kind of red robes that most Debuses kind of wear, but it's a little more ragged and a bit more torn, maybe. The Debuses that you've seen have these robes, but are very well maintained. This one seems to be quite old already. You also see that there is a golden necklace of what seems to be an eye that kind of hangs through the ropes. You can sometimes see it as the Devils kind of turns around. It's like a golden eye that is connected to this necklace that goes into the ropes. As the Devils turns around and sees you enter, he'll of course talk in his the Deba's way of talking. You see the minor illusions appear in front of his white hair. You can also see that his hair is a little bit shorter than most Debuses, as if he's cut it. And by cutting it, you can see now that there are some horns actually between the two big horns. I'll show you the. Uh, Send this into the general chat in Discord. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So this is him actually. This is the particular art for this Debus. Who you know, his name is Fell, Fee or Fell. The shop's called Fell's Tattoos. And he greets you as you see the kind of minor illusions just kind of appear in front of his hair. You see the words as you try to read it. You've been getting better through the year, like of living here in Sigil, at reading these Devis's speech, but it's still a very hard one. You kind of have to do like word calculations while reading and while trying to translate it into words. But you can read that he says, "Welcome into my shop. This is Fel's Tattoos. How can I serve?"
Kind of tattoos do you sell?
El, as he passes by you, having entered secondly, speaks out and kind of interrupts your hello. As the Debus now focuses on him, his eyes kind of meet yours, El, and you see the words appear. All kinds, any one you like, all kinds of art styles. I have everything. As he kind of like lifts his hand, and you can see now that all the images, minor illusions, and stuff that are floating around in the shop begin to kind of either slowly vibrate or like do like a 360 or turn around in their around their own like points of mass and stuff. It's like a little animation for any one of them.
Do you have like a list or a book?
Are you in particular need of anything in peculiar, or is this a request to any magic tattoos that you might be referring to?
I'd like to see what magic tattoos you can do.
All right. So I do have a list here. He can create all tattoos, all magic tattoos, common, uncommon, or rare, that are in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. As he kind of points this out, he says he charges different prices for the rarities of the tattoos, charging common 60 gold pieces, uncommon 600, and rare 6,000.
6,000. In Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, you said.
Yes. Yeah, I could. Let me see if I can fix up a filtered item list for you guys.
Yeah, I think those would be Absorbing Barrier, Blood Fury, Coiling Grasp, Eldritch Claw, Ghost Step, Illuminator, Life Well, Masquerade, Shadowfell, and Spell Rot. But some of those are greater than rare.
Yeah, look, I think if I share this, it has the filters in it as well, but I'm not sure if you follow that link.
In Discord.
Yeah.
Nope, no.
No, it doesn't? Okay. Well, then if you go to filters, then you can. Oh, does it? Or no?
No, it doesn't, but I found it like online.
Ah, there you go.
Okay.
That works too. Yeah, if you can share that one.
Yeah.
Or you can on 5e tools do like in filters, just select twos and then select common, uncommon, and rare. And you have the same effect. Both work.
So it was 600 for common.
Yes.
I'll just step to one side whilst he's pondering which tattoo to get.
Yeah, sure. He looks kind of over towards the rest of the party now, entering the shop. He sees Crusher and looks kind of in curiosity, as he doesn't see any skin, which is going to be hard for him to do if he wants to have anything. He might wonder why this guy is in here. Kotam seems to be interested as well in some, looking at least at the different kinds of options he has. Remius definitely doesn't, as he's kind of standing in the door opening, not really sure if he wants to enter this establishment. What about you, Ios? Or Luca as well?
I feel like my skin already has enough pop.
He, as you say that, he kind of generates a few words and he says, "It is also very hard for me to tattoo gem dragons, I found."
I mean, you wouldn't want to just do it for a challenge for freezies?
Oh, it is possible, but it hurts. It hurts the owner quite a lot. I have to, well, not tattoo it, but more engrave it into your skin, which is harder.
Hard pass. Thank you, though. That sounds terrible.
Glad to have informed you. I'm here to serve.
Speaking of serve, you worked with the lady?
All Debuses have served the lady once in their lives, or are still serving her now.
How is it you made your way into the private sector?
You mean how I got shunned by the Lady of Pain?
Yes, I was trying to be polite. What happened?
I was a believer of Aoskar, the dead god of portals. Therefore, I was no believer in the Lady of Pain and got shunned by my kin as well as the lady herself.
Given your current situation, would you ever want to make amends to the lady?
I have no interest in serving the lady. I only have interest in serving the true god of portals, but he, as of now, has been killed.
Killed?
Well, it's believed he was killed by me and my faction, but we don't know for sure. His presence has not been felt for a long time.
A long time, meaning years, months, days?
A long time. As he kind of stands up, you see now that Val is actually not floating. He is the first and only Debus you've seen walking instead of floating. Maybe something he lost as he fell from serving the Lady of Pain. All the other magic is still working, though. It's just his way of communicating still seems the same, like any other Debus.
Can I try and ask him why he decided to stop serving? And I know that he mentioned about serving the true portals. Was it Master of Portals or Master of Light?
Oscar, the original god of portals.
The original god of portals. What made him change his mind? Or what made you change your mind?
I never wanted to serve the Lady of Pain. When Oscar fell, or his presence was lost, the Lady of Pain took over a long, long time ago, like I said. I didn't want to serve another master. My kin thought otherwise and saw the Lady of Pain as the new rightful successor, but I didn't. And thereby my service was ended. I was shunned instead of banned towards the mazes as for my previous dedication to serving portals in general, but have not yet done anything else other than serve my previous god. I am still serving him, even though he's not with us at the moment. As he kind of reaches one or two of his fingers from his left hand towards the eye that he has, the necklace.
It's a nice necklace.
Yes. It's a symbol. He kind of looks around as everyone is kind of inspecting the shop or either talking to him and says, towards you probably, Al, but maybe to some others that are kind of looking around. Any particular ones that you've landed upon?
Yes.
Good to hear. Which one, if I may ask? I'm here to serve.
I would like a coil and grasp tattoo.
Coining grasp tattoo. Uncommon. So that would be 600 gold pieces. Any design you have in mind? I have some for the coining grasp that need to be present, some things, but most of it can be in your favor.
I'll allow artist choice on this one. I would like it on my Obviously not my metallic arm, my normal arm, if that's possible.
Yeah, that's usually why I recommend it. The grasping tendrils that this tattoo gives are usually best extended from the arm. Anything else can be a bit insufficient or impractical.
The need to unattune to an item.
That is your choice.
Is your arm attunable?
No.
Yeah. How cool would it be if you had a tentacle arm instead of a regular arm?
Well, the arm is not a regular arm.
Yeah, the arm's not a regular arm. I do have claws, which gives me a boost on melee attacks, I believe.
Athletics and stuff, right?
Possibly. It's right here. While having the arm attached, you gain proficiency in athletics. If you already have proficiency, you gain expertise. This arm is reinforced with adamantine, one of the hardest substances in existence. While wearing it, any critical hit against you becomes a normal hit.
Whoa!
Something which I completely forgot about. So,
Ow!
It got upgraded at the end.
It did, yes.
Al, hear me out. Face tattoo.
No, absolutely not.
Tendrils from the mouth.
To be fair, there was one of the tattoos I was looking at, which it will move the tattoo around your body in any shape or form you want.
The Illuminator. No, not the Illuminator. Which one?
Is it the Masquerade tattoo, I believe?
Yeah, the Masquerade one.
Yeah. But no, I'm going to unattune from my scale mill armor.
Okay. The dragon one?
Yeah, the soulless one.
Oh, the soulless one.
Yeah,
Isn't
that's the one I'm wearing currently.
Is that cursed? No.
It's not cursed, it's...
Well, not to your knowledge.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Let me actually check something. Here. Half-plate armor of the soulless.
No regrets.
You inattuned from it?
Yeah, it's either that or the vorpal sword, and I'd rather not the vorpal sword. So
it is medium half-plate armor, so to take it off, which is part of an attunement, takes a little bit. But as you do, you have no issues in attuning or taking it off. It doesn't seem to be like cursed, really like some other heavy cursed items are.
Yeah. That was 600 gold, right?
Are you naked now?
Yes.
I have
yeah,
undergarments on.
Assuming he has some clothes underneath it.
I've also got my cloak of displacement on, so.
He's just standing naked with a
You're
cloak.
gonna have a hard time giving me a tattoo with displacement constantly on you.
You just gotta keep hitting me.
Like, oh fuck. Oh fuck, I tattooed the illusion, my bad. Alright, as you take off the armor, feel a spot there for where you want. Actually, like you have to clear up your whole arm because he's gonna need a bit of room here. In my world, usually how like the more rarer the tattoo is, the bigger it's gonna like have as a surface.
Yep.
Because I think that's kind of cool. So uncommon is like it's like not a sleeve, but it's a sizable like chunk from your arm.
That's fine. I just have
maybe your forearm if you want that. Then you'll have like a forearm, like robot forearm, and then a tattooed forearm.
Yeah, like that forearm down the hand, so that when I use it, it looks like it's coming out my hand.
Sure.
Like Spider-Man.
We can do that. All right. He is gonna take a moment as he says, I need to now come up with a design. It will only take a few minutes, but I usually, when I have artist choice, try to come up with something that I've noticed or taken into consideration regarding the specific client. In the meanwhile, please enjoy the presence of all the art, and if you want to maybe take a break or that sort of thing, just let me know when we get started. It might take a while.
We've got time.
So this tattoo, it allows you to like shoot tendrils.
Yep, it allows me to grapple enemies at a distance and
And you
cause
could, in
force
theory,
damage.
put that on any body part.
Right there.
We all raise an eyebrow.
Ramius at this point closes the door.
I'll start taking
Yeah,
off his pants.
Steps outside, closes the door.
I have a new party now.
Tattoo my dick, mister.
Yeah, I'm wondering what you are like. Are you referring like to L or to yourself, in particular with this question?
No one. It was just a hypothetical.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. All right, Luca, what are you doing?
Standing with Ramius and just telling him, I mean, you know, they're kind of fun once you get used to them. You know, it's not always like this, but most of the time. So
At that point, do you just hear, tattoo my dick?
yeah, and Lucas just like awkwardly smiles and puts his hand on the door so nobody can exit out. Yeah, I mean, you know, they're a fun bunch. You won't get bored. Let's just say that.
I've definitely concluded that even within the first hour of meeting all of you, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how it will be when we actually get to the house and, well,
Yeah, but
how that will play out with any interaction with the many devils we'll probably face there, or other creatures.
you know, I'm trying to like understand them because, you know, when you have the idea that you're going to the worst place in the whole existence, I guess you need to have some time to have fun and just like enjoy life while you can, because you know, who knows what waits us there, and like you said, the many devils and stuff.
Yes, a little humor and a little bit of joy might go a long way within the places we're about to go, but what I'm more pointing out is that the things we do joke about, well, I think a devil can even appreciate that kind of humor.
I sure hope so. Let's see.
Mm. I'm gonna actually go to the smoldering bar and then have a drink. It's right around the corner, anyways.
Speaking of which, could we potentially take a 5-minute break so that I can go and get myself a drink?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I want to get a glass of water as well. All
Yeah.
right. As Val is gonna prepare the tattoo, we'll also prepare ourselves and take like a 5 minute.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. How we doing? Aurel back?
Yes.
We have an Ian. Do we have a plane? Do we have a phoenix? Do we have a Fook?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, plane. Phoenix and Fook not.
Yes, I am here.
Yes, she is here. Great. And then Fook. Wait a little bit, I guess.
you decide what tattoo he's getting yet?
Who?
Plane.
Yeah, Quelling Grasptic too.
No, like what's it gonna look like?
Oh, in terms of Val's decision, yeah. Well, you'll see, I guess. Fook, are you here?
Oh, yep, sorry. Just got here.
Great. Alrighty. Just finishing something up here. Um, Yeah, all right. I'll finish this off later. I'll get the art for like the tattoo in a little bit. But yeah, I'll describe what you're getting. We're all here, right?
Yes.
Aye, aye.
Aye, aye. Plane as well, Fook as well. Yes, we just heard him. Yeah. Okay. I think we're all here. Alrighty, back to it. So as two are waiting outside, one goes to the smoldering bar in. Luca, are you following?
No,
Let's move back.
I'll stay here to watch with. At least take care of the
Hmm.
party.
Yeah, you stand bodyguard outside.
Yeah, I'm not watching it.
All right.
Hello?
Then hello, plane.
Why can't
You
I
hear?
hear anything?
We can hear you very softly. Thinking his headset might have disconnected or something.
Yeah, it did. I thought it's awfully quiet. It's not even like it's not even any music playing.
Yeah. Because your mic was different and you said you're different. Must have been a headset.
Yeah.
All right, you back here?
Yeah, I'm back.
Good. All right. As Remius is leaving off to the smoldering bar in, Luca, you stay behind. Could you roll me a d8?
All right.
It's a 4.
And tell me what you got as well. So I have one screen. 8. Huh. All right, we're gonna get back to that in a bit.
You can't do that. Wait,
in-
what?
Inside the tattoo shop, let's see. It's Ios Code 10, Crusher, Dahlia, and or Al inside there. A little bit crowded. Still, like I said, it's a moderately sized space, but with that many people, it's a little bit crowded. The lighting seems to be still from this one singular light, but as Fel will instruct you to sit down, and do in the single chair that's within this establishment. And when you do, all the kind of floating, other than the like just single like white light that floats above the chair, all the other like tattoos or tattoos designed from like the minor illusions place into light up very brightly and give off this same kind of white light, kind of illuminating the whole shop. And now it's very actually bright in here and quite good. You can also see that from the dark interior, you had assumed that this was quite a, and from like the hive ward itself, it's not a very clean place. But as you kind of now look into this bright room, it seems it is dark in here with the dark interior. Almost everything's like gray and black painted and that sort of thing. But it's very clean. Seems very sanitized.
That's good. That's
you
exactly
also
what I
now
look
can-
for in a tattoo shop.
Yeah, there you go. You also can now see that there are some tools that lay behind in the back, like a tattoo ink, like pistol and stuff, that sort of thing. You've never had a tattoo before. You've seen maybe some wood elves and stuff with tattoos, but they do it very differently than this guy does. They have more like a wild kind of way of doing tattoos, a little bit more primal. This guy seems quite sophisticated with this sort of magical, steampunky kind of device. Um, he, as you have sat down, walks over towards that device, picks it up, picks some other tools, maybe. It has like a band that has this kind of magnifying glass connected to it, puts it on his head as well, ties it up, walks towards you again, and says, I think we're ready to begin. Um, any pain that you might feel is only temporary, and we can take a break whenever you want. The process of the tattoo will take about 1 or 2 hours, depending on how well it goes. After that, the attunement to the magic from the tattoo will also be complete at the same time.
Let's get this started.
All right. Any payment of the tattoo might be done now or afterwards, depending on your preference. And usually I recommend doing it afterwards, as some magical tattoos are sometimes tricky. I've never felt one myself, but I've heard of cases.
I tear back my 60 platinum pieces for now.
I swear I have good reviews on Yelp. No, just kidding. All right, he takes the pistol and begins to tattoo your. Is it your left arm that is robotic?
Yes.
Your right.
My left. Yes, my left.
Okay, so he begins to tattoo your right arm then. As he begins, you can now see that on your arm a minor illusion begins to form. It is kind of the traceable kind of. If you've ever gotten a tattoo yourself, you know that they do the little kind of sticker on it, right? Sometimes where you have a pretty much a traceable fake tattoo that they then tattoo.
The stencil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I don't know
Yeah,
what it was
Blaine,
called in English.
you don't know anything about tattoos, do you?
Nope, none.
Okay, well, they have this thing where they like a temporary tattoo. They kind of tattoo it on and then they take it off and then they can trace over that. This is kind of what's happening, but now he like a real Debus does, he uses a minor illusion to kind of just plaster it on your arm so he has something to trace. And then begins to trace, and you can see from the illusion that he seems to be planning on tattooing a bunch of chains around your arm. These chains look a peculiar way. They are well shaded and have this kind of realistic look to them, but they also seem to have some sort of shine to them that is not very iron-like, where most chains are made of, but it's more of a. You don't know which metal it's supposed to be, but it's hard to tell, of course, because it is in black. You caught on to what I'm trying to do here.
Sneaky.
Yeah. So the illusion begins to form, and he begins to trace it down. Like he says, it's kind of around the whole forearm, so it's gonna take a while. Roll me a Constitution save as he begins the process of tattooing it. Okay, 14, not bad. With 14, you're able to withstand the pain. Like he said, it doesn't feel pleasant, but it's okay. You can take it. You've had far worse looking at your left arm. Like I said, it's gonna take 1 to 2 hours. So, what do the others want to do while this is going on, or do you want to say anything while this is going on? Take that as a no. What do the others want to do? Just being mental support for a friend, or
Mental support, no. I mean, I do kind of want to just watch him squirm in pain, though.
Well, he seems to be holding up quite well.
You'll be waiting a long
it will
time.
last. Yeah, well, yeah, 2 hours, something. It's gonna take a little bit.
Ios is gonna draw or try to plan out if he could put a crystal on the end of the sun blade to make it a blade, and to see if
A crystal?
Yeah, like a shard of something that might.
Do you have a shard of something?
He just breaks a piece of himself off.
I I don't, but I've got an affinity for gems, so I figured I might be able to locate one or maybe use.
Maybe with Dahlia's help.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna just take the time to enjoy Al's discomfort and sketch
Wait,
out this.
I'm
What?
fine here. What's you mean discomfort? Al is taking this like a champ.
With a 14?
Yeah,
Mm,
as he said, I was
you're a
fine.
little,
He said I
you're,
was
you're a
fine.
little sweaty. You're a little sweaty.
Yeah, that's because we're in
It's
hell.
it's unpleasant. It's unpleasant, but he's handling it okay. You see sometimes the contortion of his face go a little bit, but then he retakes himself. Seems okay.
Told you I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay, shut up. Stop talking about it.
Yeah. So I'll do that.
Sure.
So you're looking for something to attach to the.
Yeah, maybe something to create a a blade that would work in unison with this sun blade. Something
So
to.
Dahlia,
Hmm.
to intervene here a little bit, you've noticed that you don't know Ios that well, right? You don't know what his past is really, or what's been going on with these swords that he carries. Seems to have a particular liking to the one he's carrying already, and now he's bought another one. And back at the armory, he also tried to do something, but you didn't really understand what he was doing. You heard some himself and some others maybe talking about the one within or like the worm, but you couldn't really understand really what the particular detail around that was.
Okay.
Oh, I'll give you some context here, Delia. I have an ancient amethyst dragon living in this sword, or at least the soul of one. Um, his name is Elden Sir. He is, well, not such a fan of planar travel and messing with powerful entities in different planes.
He must be really happy with you then.
I wouldn't I wouldn't be lying if I said it was a bit of a turbulent relationship right now, but he typically has been a terrific ally and um, he was invaluable in the slaying of, well, I guess Tiamat's aspect, but regardless, I think him to be of noble intent. He's just a little bit perturbed that I intend to go to hell, one of the hells, 9 hells, all of the hells.
Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. So were you trying to get him to start communicating with you again?
I've tried a few times to no avail. He's in a mood, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I don't think he takes very well to being moved from blade to blade like I've done in the last, well, few months. A few times. He was in a sword called Zephyr, which belonged to a hell riding vampire, and I was able to lay that vampire to rest, and I put his sword with him, and I took Eldenser with me and put him in a blade I had. But yeah, I think that was sort of the start of our our slide in social interactions.
I just love how Luca and Remius are not here.
Yeah.
It's Sorry, continue.
Well, maybe if they asked me about it, I would tell them.
Yeah. Al, you have noticed that the sword Sever has pretty much disappeared, I think. The sword he's carrying now seems shorter, seems different designed, and seems just as purple as Sever, but yeah, has a very different aesthetic to it.
What happened to your length, bro?
It's not the size of the blade, Al. It's how you use
Wield
its
it.
curve. I'm Al. Do you remember my dagger that I bought from? Um, oh gosh, it wasn't Rest. It wasn't.
It was in Brindle.
It wasn't Brindle. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It was Shanks
One of the six blades. One of the six.
Shanks Weapon Shop, I think. Shanks Smith. Shanks Smith.
Shanks shivs.
Shanks
Oh,
Shivs. There
is
you
that
go.
where I got my branding iron from?
Yes.
Branding iron, which I still haven't used, by the way. Pissed about that. But yes,
I can use it on you right now if you want.
It's okay. I'm already being branded.
It's already getting too.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah, I remember that dagger, IS.
I was able to put Elden Sir in that dagger, and
Such a
it's
cramped space in comparison to Zephyr, though. No.
well, it grew actually, so it was pretty cool to be a part of. But
You're a grower, not a shower. I get
I forgot you solely rely on penis puns to
it.
communicate.
Look, I'm being branded right now. I need to do something to take my mind off it.
You did
I'll give you
hear. You did hear about a. What you say, Ian?
Let's
Well,
see.
actually, this is something that Sam would be interested in as well. He'll say. He'll ask. Did you mention the sword was from a hell-riding vampire?
Yes, yes.
Do you never listen, Kortam? Jesus.
Well, it was hard to believe. That's why I asked again. Was he of the good nature or an evil nature?
Well, he had a fun name, Yander Sunstar. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but um,
I'll
I
roll a street check. Go to him. Anyone else that is interested in that name can roll me a history check as well.
I've already failed mine, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, not you.
And he really, really had no clue what he was doing on the material plane. So I,
He
I would
was
have.
I believe the name recalls to a story of the Hell Riders of Elturel. That must mean Remius knows him, no? Have you talked to him about this?
I can't believe I haven't not talked to him already. But like he was with me for almost a month, right, before everyone arrived. And
Yeah, you've not talked about it before.
okay,
Maybe you have your reasons. I don't know. The reason was maybe mostly just because I wanted to do it in a session.
okay. So we can bring this up organically, gang. But I can now concede that it looks like I've been withholding this information from Rami.
Maybe you were just waiting for the right moment, you know. Let's say that. You also, Delia, have heard of this name. You didn't know he was part of the Hell Riders of Elturel, but you knew that he was said to be a vampire that turned good and was actually slaying other vampires, kind of like Blade.
Okay.
Kind of like Blade is um yeah, I don't know if it was good or bad, but he's at rest now with his sword.
And yeah, you
Is
did
that
you did say correctly. He was very confused about why he was in this particular like tomb, as well as on the material plane. He seemed very confused.
but let me tell you, it was a pretty epic fight.
Quite curious, Kotem says. Um, so did you honor his previously owned blade, and that's why you transferred Elden Sir?
Yeah, well, he wanted the sword, and I I thought that would be a good final wish, but I knew that Elden Sir would be a valuable ally for years to come, and he seemed compelled when I asked him to switch from
I guess so.
his blade
Did
to.
he say anything about his previous owner, or did the previous owner know that he had Elden?
I believe so. Yeah.
All right. How long was he in that tomb?
Elden Sir? Oh my gosh. That is a good question. Elden Sir, he's not going to answer me. How long were you in that tomb?
Yeah, well, you pretty much answered your already asked question. He's not gonna answer.
Yeah. I would say something that the tomb was utterly destroyed when we found it. So not utterly, but it had become
Yeah, the
very.
tomb, like the sarcophagus, was actually still intact,
Yeah,
weathered but still intact. The church itself that was built around it was very much.
yeah. The church of, I believe it was Lathander. Was yeah,
Yep,
originally occupied by Red Hand forces when we first found it.
all the way back. That session must have been like 3 years ago now, 4 years ago. It's a long time.
Um, so yeah, I think I would love to make a giant dragon in my sword forgive me, but I feel the deeper we go into this adventure, the angrier he will get. So maybe
Do you think he's particularly angry at you for trying to enter the Hells?
um to my understanding, ancient or sorry, not just ancient, but amethyst dragons, um they're they're protectors of the plains, or almost similar to wardens. They want to keep things sort of where they are in order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would know this because one, you're a dragonborn, like Gem Amethyst Dragonborn, and then two, you've had this dragon in your sword for a while. But Amethyst dragons are known to be guardians of the plains, so they keep everything from outside of plains on the outside of the plains, right? They also are guardians of time, so they like keep anything from messing with timelines and stuff. That too. So as long as it's in the plains, you should be okay, generally speaking. But if you're talking about something like, for example, like mind flayers and stuff, right? They come from outside the plains. Then you have some issues with if you're like going with that or searching that up or whatever, messing with that stuff. The nine hells are still the planes of the greater planar wheel, so
Okay, so the external planes are are what?
are still in the domain that Amethyst dragons guard. So
Okay.
in theory, like any particular Amethyst dragon shouldn't be that mad about going to the nine hells. It's just that Elensur is not a particular amethyst dragon. Well, he's a very particular amethyst dragon, right? So it's a bit strange, given his history.
And maybe that has something to do with his previous interactions with Yander Sunstar and
That could be.
yes, so I mean I could speculate all I want, but really I have a dragon in my sword. It'd be great if I could harness his power.
The only one that could probably answer those questions is either Elensur. You know, you've kind of done with Yander, so.
Yeah. So maybe I'll mention it. Actually, it might be a good time to mention it. I've got my sketch. I'm gonna give you guys the room, but also I need to go check on my baby, so I will be back in 10.
Sure.
I'm listening, but I can't talk.
Sure. All right. Let's go back to that 8-year-old. You hear, right?
Huh?
Yeah. You rolled an 8, right? Just now.
Yes, yes.
Okay, let's get back to that. So as you're standing alone and you see kind of way around the corner into the smoldering corpse bar, you stand there for a little bit. You hear some like muffled talking from inside the shop, but can't really place what they're saying. Do you do anything in particular while just kind of chilling outside?
Yes. As they're all inside and all of that is going on, I'll just look out to the street of the ward and just kind of take in all the people that are passing there, just
Mhm.
all the faces that they go and disappear in like a split second. And for a second, Luca just feels very much distant from everything and everyone and just zones off. And in that moment, he thinks of Mara and of home and of everything he's been through. And then just he thinks for a second of maybe what will happen after everything. And he feels like a tingle in his lute and just thinks of Malil and
Mhm.
maybe trying to make sense of everything. He's having that question that all of those people are just living their lives, and all the people that lost their lives in the Vale. And then what's his purpose really? He's tried to save those people, but then there's people out here who knows, maybe something will happen and he won't be there to save them. And he's almost looking for an answer, but he realizes he doesn't have one. So he's trying to get it from somebody, and all he can think of is Malil.
As you kind of ponder inside yourself and ask these questions to yourself, of course, you know now, especially with the information you got from the Lady of Pain, that even the presence of most gods is not allowed in here. And so you think any contact with Malil is probably not going to
Yeah, of course.
very much be existing inside this city of doors. But what you do notice as you're kind of pondering is across the street. You're in this small alley, so as you're looking towards like the busier street where the smoldering bar inn is located at, you have like only a limited view. But as you kind of ponder off from that side into like the alleyway, maybe look towards the other way, which leads more into like the narrow kind of street that you are on right now, you can see two figures begin to approach from the kind of less busy side. So like you have the smoldering bar in, goes into the alleyway, has Val's shop, like the 2 shop, and then goes further, right? Like an alley does. From that other way, the more quiet side, you can see 2 figures begin to approach.
Familiar?
No, probably not. I'm trying to remember if you ever encountered these inside Lord's Mines of Never or Red Hand of Doom, but I don't think so.
Ooh, throwback. Okay, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't think you did. So you see what seems to be 2 smaller kind of creatures. You first think that they're gnomes, but then they seem a little strange as they're wearing these red hooded caps and have these big iron boots. And you hear that before you actually see them, as this clinking of the iron kind of boots echoes through the alley and the cobblestone that they stand on and walk on. As they kind of approach, you see that one of them begins to kind of turn towards you and look towards you, while the other gives you a quick glance, but then grabs a key from inside his clothing and begins to kind of open a door a little bit to the on the other side of the alley from Fletcher. The key clicks and the door opens, and as the one enters inside, the other one kind of hisses at you, and you see sharp teeth underneath its lips reveal, and then he looks towards his fellow creature that just entered the building and quickly darts behind him, or like it follows him in, and the door kind of closes.
I think at that hiss, Luca just snaps out of his like trance, and he looks at the people that just walked by.
Mm-hmm.
They did not. I mean, the hiss was pretty rude, but did they seem hostile at all?
I mean, they didn't seem happy to see you there, and one was kind of trying to not pay attention to you, and the other was kind of trying to, I guess, yeah, he was hissing, so maybe like I don't know, intimidate you or whatever. You're not sure what he was trying to.
All right. I guess Luca will just stand up from the ground and just take a quick glance at the building that they entered.
All right. You see, this particular building seems quite run down, as most buildings are, but it has a special quality to it, as there's just a bunch of cobwebs kind of covering this whole building, like an extreme kind of amount.
Okay. I guess Luca just takes a look back at the door of the tattoo shop, and he'll just extend his arm, and his fist is closed, and then he'll open it, and a small yellow bird will summon out of it, and he'll just
Pebble,
send Pebble to like hang behind the door, just like where he was a second
sure,
ago, and Luca will just kind of take a look across the street, left and right, and just using his staff, he'll slowly begin creeping up towards the building. Not going terribly too close, just to like kind of give an inspection, but maybe like trying to play it off as he's just walking.
sure. All right. As you do this, I'm gonna cut back to the shop here for just a little bit. Anyone with a passive perception of 50 and or above
Hello.
inside the shop?
That would be me.
All right. Dahlia, do you have that? I think you would. As a
15 or above, was it? So,
yeah.
yeah. Phoenix.
Phoenix, you here?
Yes. Sorry, my thing's on charge because it's running low on battery. No, I don't think I do have that. I think it's 14. So.
Oh, okay.
Close.
Close, but not yet. All right. With a 14, you'll not notice it. But L, inside the chair, you see Crusher leave the building.
Uh oh.
Ios, Dahlia, either one of you.
Yes.
Can you follow Crusher, please?
Okay. Why?
Well, I don't necessarily trust him, and I don't like him wandering off on his own. He has ulterior motives here. We need to watch him carefully.
Okay, and how am I supposed to know that it's not you with the ulterior motives?
Ios, can you please follow Crusher?
I was going to walk towards Ramius and the bar, so I guess I could. Is he going in that direction?
You don't even know
I
that
don't know.
Remius went to the bar.
Yeah. I don't know. All I know
He
is
went
this
out the door.
Luke is not here.
He went out the door with Luca. For all you know, Luca and Remius are still there together, but
Okay, I would have gone to that door. Is that the door Crusher's going to?
it's the front door. That's the only
Okay.
door you guys have been seeing, so.
Okay, well, I'm going to do this in a way. Wait, you just said this out loud? Was Crusher in earshot?
No, he just walked out the door,
The Crusher has already left at this point.
which is why I wanted
Okay.
somebody to go and follow him.
Okay, well, I'm going to use this. Fuck.
15. No
Is you
advantage, right?
is you just slightly crouch and I still see you? Like, okay.
And it's very bright in here.
I'm
The
going
dark
to use it.
interior absorbs a lot of light, but yeah, no, it's very bright.
Okay, I'm going to use it on Crusher though.
Yeah, you'll be fine. All right, he doesn't have a perception of 15, so unless he's doing active like perception checks.
Okay.
All right, you leave the building. You see two things. First, you see Luca standing in front of a particular building about 5 meters, or like, what is that? Like 15 feet away. Seems to be that this building is covered in this kind of cobweb. The second thing you see is Crusher standing kind of quietly leaning on the side where Fel's shop is, this other building, and where Luke is kind of standing in front of is it's on the other side of the alley. The alley is only like maybe 10 feet wide or something. Oh, and the third thing you see is Pebble standing kind of in front of you on the cobblestone in front of the door.
Yeah, it just chirps in your face.
Oh my god, this is a lot.
Crusher has somehow walked up behind Luca and is kind of just leaning on one of the buildings and looking towards Luca's direction.
I will call over Crusher and with my brain talking, with my telepathy.
All right.
And
I do have to check something then, actually, if you're using that on Crusher.
Oh no.
Let me see here. Yeah, no, okay, that would work. All right, yeah, sure. What do you want to say?
I think our friend Luca has found something interesting. Do you want to make use of this tattoo time and go with him?
I don't think he can answer you, right? Or can he?
He can talk to me.
Okay, you're sure that works. Okay, he'll say towards you as he kind of turns his head towards you. You'll hear in your head already on it.
All right, well.
Remy is, by the way, nowhere to be seen.
I guess I'll have to have that awkward conversation later. Oh no. Well, let's go with Luca.
All right, yeah, you follow behind. Do you still stealth?
Now that I've talked to him, I'm fine. I'm not gonna.
Well, then you will hear the footsteps of Ayos approach. He's not stealthing.
This is an interesting house.
As you turn around, you see Isles approach. You also see Crusher just standing behind you, about 10 feet away, leaning towards a building.
Oh, gee, come on. And I tried being sneaky. But yes, yeah, I don't know. Something happened. Two creatures just came up to me. One ran inside and the other hissed at me. So I don't know what's going on, but it's
Did it,
probably nothing, you know.
did it have 4 legs and a whiskers and a tail?
Uh, I hope it didn't. I don't like those, but no. They seemed gnomish, I suppose.
Ugh. I don't know why I went if, but oh, I see.
Arwick's aware. It's just like, you fucking bastard.
Arwick is a halfling, thank you very much.
All part of the same family. All part of the same
Whoa,
family.
okay.
Whoa.
Right. What makes a halfling?
Halfling is like a hobbit, a gnome is like a gnome.
A halfling was once created by a gnome banging a human. That's all.
No, it isn't.
Many years ago. Yes, it was.
Ooh, I
No,
like
it
this
isn't.
lore.
It's canon
Explain
now.
the lore. Good lore.
I don't think that's the lore.
It is now.
I'm not sure actually how the halflings got created, but I'm pretty sure it's not that.
Yeah.
All right. So it was like a gnome. It hissed at you, and it seemed like it wanted you to follow it, or it seemed like it didn't want you to follow it.
No, you're right. It's probably the second one. I'm just, I didn't want anything bad to happen, and maybe they were like setting up a trap or something, and I wanted to just take a peek, maybe
It
warn
is.
all of you, or you come
It
out
is
or
also
something.
curiosity that this whole building is covered by cobwebs.
Yeah, I mean, it's besides I suppose, a busy tattoo shop. It's out of place.
Well, I I guess we can go in and go see what it's all about, but I'm I'm not in love with the idea of just leaving Dahlia and Al, but someone has to watch Al, someone has to watch Dahlia, so it makes
Totem
sense.
is on it.
Yeah,
And
that doesn't seem like a good idea. You're definitely right. Uh, so is Al kind of close to getting his tattoo done, or?
There's maybe a pause, so now probably is still at least like half an hour left, maybe an hour.
I
yeah,
mean,
there's like an
it's
hour left. Do you want to just go in?
well, I'll leave it up to you. I just wanted to take a peek, so.
Archer at this point kind of walks from the wall, and he kind of pushes you aside a little bit, not hard, but forceful, and he kind of just bangs on the door.
Oh,
Oh, or we
we're
could do
knocking.
that.
Yeah.
And you hear some hissing again from inside. Then some like footsteps approaching the iron kind of shoes that you heard on the cobblestone now reflect on what's you can only assume is like a wooden board floor. And the door kind of slowly opens. Crusher at this point takes a step back and is kind of now on the same line as you again, Luca. Both of you standing now in front of the door. The door opens and you see this same figure, red cap and the iron boots, gnomish figure, sharp teeth, and kind of like red shot eyes. Now that you've come closer,
Can do I know what type of creature this is? Like a gnome with
roll
like.
me a nature or arcana.
All right.
You can do two if you want, Ayas.
Okay.
Crusher is not gonna say anything about the creature if he knew. So
I am bad at
Of
both.
course he is.
Yeah, alright. Ayos, you have no idea. Luca with an 18. Yeah, I'll say you from now. You had your suspicions before, but now from close up, you can definitely say this is what you've heard described the red cap. And the red cap are these fey-like creatures that have a murderous intent in every nature of their being.
Oh,
They love killing. That's pretty much their thing. They love hunting for a kill as well. And it is known throughout the Feywild, but also other planes, that whenever you see a red cap, it's never alone, as well as if you hear it, then it's probably already too late. Mitchell has a little bit of different situation, of course, but yeah, the iron boots, hearing it from a distance and then seeing these blood red eyes filled with a murderous intent usually doesn't mean very much good for any prey to them. Seems to be a little bit of a difference. The murderous intent in their eyes is still very present as you open the door, and you see the one that hissed at you has opened it, and well, he does the same thing again, and then asks, "What?"
I just wanted to check if everything was okay, and can Luca kind of like peek through the door to see what's going on inside?
Sure, you have dark vision, right? So you'll be able to see inside because it is pitch black here. You can see from the kind of peek you get inside that the cobwebs continue. And you can also see that. Give me an investigation check very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
If you've walked up at this point and you're standing next to them, yeah, sure. All right.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd say both of you definitely can see a body laying in the corner of one of the rooms.
Oh God.
Not a red cap. And as you kind of peer over his shoulder or over his cap, he follows your gaze and kind of looks behind him. As he realizes what you've seen, he closes the door a little further. Not all the way, but he makes it a little tighter so that the side of the corpse disappears. I'll say Ayos with a 22, you can tell just by the moment of the glimpse on the corpse, you can definitely tell that this has been molded at. Didn't look very great. It didn't look that it was in a good state. Like any corpse, of course, isn't, but this one was like either eaten at or like just
Okay. Yeah.
destroyed mold. Yeah, that's what it meant. Not mold as in like mushroom or whatever. Yeah, yeah. Maul.
Luca, is murdering something to eat legal in Sigil?
Would Luca even know that?
You guys have no idea. You know, a lot is legal in Sigil, as it's a neutral place by nature, but you also know that there are the rules that do exist are very, very well looked after, and if broken, can have severe consequences. You just don't know if this is one of them.
However, there's something that Luca, even if it were legal, I don't think he thinks it's good to do that. So I think seeing that Luca just kind of like takes his staff and slightly like puts on a defensive position towards the red cap and just says, "What is going on there?"
It's none of your business. This is our property. Leave. And he kind of closes the door a little bit further, even. It's now only like a slither that just only
Can I
two red
shove
eyes.
a sword in there?
Which one?
Well, the one with the blade.
Okay. Sure.
Just to like
give me like a straight up dexterity check. as you're trying to shove your sword in the slitter of the door.
Nice.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you're able to. He tries to kind of close it as you reach forward with your sword, but you're quick enough and you can wedge it between the door and the doorpost.
I'll just say, should we make it a Davis's job?
Yeah, I I think it's a great idea. I'll keep the door open.
uh, Crusher will also lay one hand on the ready to like push it open if we want to escalate to that. Fu, could you roll me a probably intimidation check, if you would say, right?
Sure, okay.
Okay, 21. Um, the red cap will kind of look at all three of you. Then quickly you see his eyes kind of dart away, looking behind him. You would think you can't really see much else anymore because it's very much a slither. It's like as thick as a sword, which is not much at all. And then his eyes will return, and you see kind of for the first time he winks, or like yeah, he closes his eyes and opens it again, and you slowly hear the door creak open again. And you can now see the second red cap that you saw enter as well, the one that had the keys, Luca. He's standing kind of near the corpse, not like over it, but near it, next to it. And he seems not very pleased either. But then he kind of lights a little like candle that he has in his hand, illuminating the corpse, and you can see now that in the corner there's this mold corpse. Like I said, it seems to be not that old, but you can't really place it how long it's been laying there. You can definitely though see that this not only is like damaged and like probably eaten or something, but also covered in these cobwebs, almost like his lower half that you can almost see with the vision you had into the room is like covered by this cocoon, and that the upper part has been broken off.
God. Seeing
Um,
that, Luca just thinks for a second to Pebble and tells it to like just fly out to Al and Dahlia, and
mhm.
if just like take Al's like sleeve or something and just like pull him towards the direction where they are.
Yeah. You also, as Pebble is gonna try and do this, um, you corpse. Like I said, it's been eaten quite a bunch, but you do still recognize it, as you recognize this to be the corpse or body, previous body, and inhabited vessel of the gnome, or not gnome, halfling, I think, that you met inside the smoldering bar inn. That was a
Oh
gnome.
God,
Oh no.
it was a gnome.
Yeah, it was a gnome. If his name, I believe, was
The one who knew Luca and
The one who
his
Yeah.
knew
songs.
Lucas.
yes, the
Yeah.
one that recognized the song.
Oh, this shit just got personal for Luca. This is where
Yep.
Luca's dark arc starts. This is where he finally starts turning to the dark side.
Well, we've already been doing that. Just look now.
Been waiting for this moment.
He's still here as well, so there you go.
I want to see an unhinged Luca.
Mhm. Yeah, he seems very dead and very half. It's I don't from what you've seen, and I'll say from the investigation you guys made before, and with the light of the candle now that one of the red caps holds, doesn't seem that they've been eaten by these creatures, as the sharp teeth that these creatures have would be like leave different marks. as well as the cocoon not being a thing that they do, to your knowledge, redcaps. There's something else that has eaten this creature.
All right. With that, if nobody else wants to do anything, Luca just taps his staff, and four globules of silver light will shoot out and illuminate the area where they are at, and just kind of like go towards the body and then rise up to the ceiling as much as possible as he'll cast dancing lights.
All right. As you cast dancing light, now illuminating the whole room and then up, which is probably a good thing that you did that, as you will kind of in the door opening. Crusher will first point this out as he looks up, following the dancing lights flying up, and you'll see this very quickly after him pointing it out. There's a particular two creatures that seem to be near the roof of this building. Seems that this building was previously like an old like storage place or something, but has long been abandoned and now is serving as this kind of hideout for these redcaps and these other creatures. I'll give you guys a picture here. As these creatures are up in the roofs.
Oh god, what is that?
So it seems like a very thin-legged spider that has too many joints to count in its legs. It also seems that near the main body of the spider, these kind of stretched out pieces of skin form together and kind of connect the different legs. The body of the spider itself is also very very interesting looking. It almost seems like a T shape, but then like with some like poisonous stingers at the end. You've never seen such a creature. They seem to be just kind of annoyed by the lights at first, but then kind of seem to dart down towards whatever dark place they can find. They're medium sized. They're not like very big. They're not small either for spiders, of course, but
Well, even having a pet that kills things, especially things that love Luca, warrants an ass kicking where I'm from. So
it was in request that we killed this creature.
By whom?
Someone that approached us after you guys left. We were in the bar when you were there. I guess he saw your interaction and wanted him dead.
I also
Did you
will
get his
loft
name?
the sword at the creature's neck or at the red cap's neck and say, "Tell us who now, or I will relieve your head from your shoulders."
Roll me another intimidation check. Now you can have advantage because you've been doing the light stuff and that sort of thing. 14. All right. He'll say, the one that played the game, the one he approached, and he points to Crusher. The devil.
Yeah, that's not good.
He paid us to kill the gnome. He said it is something he needed to prevent from happening. Don't know what, but with payment and murder in our sights, we didn't refuse. We have our pets to keep healthy.
What? What did the gnome say he was going to do?
Well, the gnome just helped you I think. I heard him talking to you, or saw him. I don't know what he said to you, but the bearded devil knew. The barbed devil, sorry. The barbed devil knew. So, at least he wanted him dead.
Is this devil, did he already pay for what you've done? Or are you about to meet him?
We already did. And the corpse has been here shortly after you guys left the bar.
Does he regularly patron that bar?
I've seen him around. It's the first time he approached us. I guess he knows our reputation.
So you've been paid.
Yes.
All right.
Half,
Huh? What was that?
half the payment was in the pleasure of killing something. We don't get to do that often in Sigil. And the other half was something else. Something valuable.
You do know that keeping secrets pushes this fine gentleman's blade closer to your neck, right?
That's not my neck. The one that's been talking to you is the one that's holding up the candle inside of the room. The other one at the door. And
I'll
the
say
red
his
cap.
neck.
Get
The
wrecked,
red cap
Luca.
that has
Get
the sword
wrecked.
to its neck kind of looks towards his other red cap buddy and is like, see the murderer's intent, now focus on his red cap buddy. And the red cap kind of just looks towards his kin and says, fine. He gave us this. And he pulls out his soul coin.
Ah.
We'll take that.
It's ours. We earned it fair and square. We give you the info. Just leave now. Like I said, murdering in Sigil is not very looked at. So even if we did it, when you do it now, the lady wouldn't be happy.
Well, do you want us to bring you to the lady for judgment on your own murder, or do you want to give us that soul coin? You said you got payment enough in the action of this perverse thing, so we'll call it even Steven.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Damn, I didn't know you had a plus 10 in persuasion. Jesus. All right, 21. He'll kind of look towards his body being held at sword point, blade point, whatever you want to call that. Then look towards his pets up above. Say, it's only the fear of the lady being greater than whatever you can do to me. Here you go. And he's gonna kind of toss the coin over towards you. Now leave.
Okay.
Just a question. You already described, but I forgot. The body was again Maud eaten at, but was it like in two pieces, torn apart, or?
It's torn apart partially, and like its lower half is still covered in like a cocoon. So you don't know what's intact in terms of the lower half. I can't see it covered. But the red cap at the door tries to pull away from your sword now that you've caught the soul coin.
I'll just look at Ios and just whisper. He doesn't deserve to rest like this.
There's enough bodies in the hive that have a worse fate than this one. At least he's providing something. Just leave it be. We've given you enough.
Ios waits for Luca to act.
And Luca is waiting for Ios.
Crusher will kind of look towards the both of you, shake his head, and just point towards pull out his weapon and point towards the corpse.
I guess we'll be taking the corpse then, Redcaps.
Your patience goes thin. We've given you enough. Leave now at once, or we'll have some more meat for our pets to feed on.
Yes, you will, and it'll be yours if you don't oblige.
Nice one.
The Redcap will try and close the door.
See, I don't want to kill more people, but then again, I just hate what they've done. Because look
How
at this,
long
is like. Go
would
on.
it be? Sorry, no, I was going to ask quickly. How long would it be before me and Al would like understand the whole pulling of the sleeve
Well,
thing?
Pebble, like, first of all, how do you intend Pebble to get into the building?
Well, if there is at all any, like, an open
Chimney.
window or anything.
This was a very sanitized place. There's no actual, like, holes in the building. There's
no
just
chimney?
windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but there's windows, but it's not open. It's all closed. No chimney as well, by the way.
All right. If there was a window where Pebble could at least like get some form of view of either Al or Dahlia,
Sure.
I guess he'll try and knock on the glass with his beak.
Right. With the knocking, I'll say that, and a 20 on the con save there, Al, you'll be able to have enough focus to kind of notice the Pebble, like, picking on the window there.
Hi, Pebble. I'm getting tattooed. Look. I don't know what he's knocking for. To me, Pebble's just keeping watch.
Who is Pebble?
Oh, it's Luca's little bird. Really cute little bird.
You look over towards the window, and you see a small, like, canary, a yellow canary, kind of looking onto the window. Roll me an animal handling check, Dahlia.
Do I not roll an animal handling check?
No, because you've just told this bird, well, it's clearly trying to communicate something that
damn.
that you're just getting it to 2. You're too excited.
Well, I am a druid.
28. Yeah, definitely. All right. So you've had a lot of experience with animals, birds as well. Especially when you lived in your tribe and stuff. You know exactly what an animal's trying to communicate when they display any kind of emotion. This one is definitely displaying emotion of weariness or like stress. There's something going on.
Okay. Yeah, something is definitely wrong. I think the bird's trying to get us to go and find out what's happening.
No, that's just Pebble. He's excited. He's excited. I'm getting a tattoo. the amount of fights he spends in my hood. Me and Pebble are tight. He's just excited for me. It's fine.
With all due respect, you're full of crap. So I'll just see you later. Okay? You want to stay here?
I can watch over our tattooed friend, and then you can take a look if you want. Go
Yeah, I'm gonna go and figure out what's happening.
Okay, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Dahlia's gonna just ignore Al. And then she's gonna accidentally trip as she falls like out the door.
I like making friends.
You open the door, and you see, a little bit further away, as you look towards the right, you see the opening onto the smoldering bar in there, that street. But when you look to the left, you can see very interesting display of a situation happening. Your three friends are standing in a door opening, and you see a very small character with a red cap and big iron shoes trying to close a door. Cutting back towards the three friends, what are you guys doing as he tries to close this?
Oh, go on, go on.
I was just gonna say, I think Ios is probably going to try to dart through the door as he closes it, but also might be bad to be trapped inside this closed door. So
Okay, if there's any intention of you trying to like obstruct his movement here, then Crusher is gonna respond to you trying to enter the door, and he's gonna try and push it open as well. And that's what we're gonna
I was
Yeah,
gonna say
that's what.
Ios is gonna yell, "Crusher door!"
yeah, we're gonna roll initiative here. I'm not gonna reveal the map yet because we're gonna just roll initiative, and then we're gonna also end the session there because
Oh wow.
we're not.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no!
Well, it's 6 minutes until the end, so we're not gonna start a combat and do like 2 people.
4 more hours.
Yeah, fuck
It's
that.
been so long.
Yeah, that's
We're
true,
going
but I have things to do.
Can I like try and make friends
Oh,
with
we
Pebble as
don't
well?
have tokens actually.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's true. But you guys can roll initiative and then we'll then
Sure thing.
sure. There you go. I'll roll for some initiatives for the red caps as well. I'll probably do that off screen. Or off recording, whatever, off session. All right. Sorry, Dahlia, what do you want to say?
Oh no, I was gonna say, can I like make friends with Pebble?
Well, you see now that the situation in the distance escalating. Pebble seems to have landed up on your shoulder now, but is still very stressed about the situation as you both are looking towards it. You can roll some initiative as well, by the way.
Yeah, I am gonna have him on my shoulder. Okay.
Yeah. Wow, 2 natural 20s in a row. That's kind of crazy. Al, you're getting into 2 inside this shop, so unless they're gonna make a whole bunch of noise, you're probably not gonna be aware of this.
Yeah, but if they do, then you've got my initiative there.
Yeah, you can roll initiative, sure.
Al started crying really loudly as Dahlia left. He's like, "Finally!"
I got a 20 on my last con save, thank you.
Yeah. All right. That's where we're gonna end the session. Watching. Thank you for watching or rewatching or whatever. This was session 6 of the Chains of Asmodeus. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Good to be
And
back.
yeah, good to be back, guys. It was mostly role play here, and we're gonna get into combat, I guess, next session. We're also after this is done, the like whatever happens, you never know, but the scribe shop is gonna be ready for you guys to pick up the document after this, I would say. So that's what we're gonna also do. I think.
Cool, neat.
And then head to the bank probably. If there's nothing else that develops from this, of course.
Cool.
That might get priority. All right. Thanks for playing. It was fun to have a session again, guys. I missed it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and we'll fight some red caps and some these creatures that I just showed you, the spiders. They're called. Where are they? Dark Weavers.
Right. That's a good name.
Yeah, fun times.
Seems chill.
And they're pretty scary in terms of art, but also like just kind of just things here.
Am I gonna burst out of the shop after my tattoo? Be like, "Hey guys, look at how cool it looks!" And it's just their bodies lying on the floor. Like,
Everyone's dead.
guys,
I need 5 new friends. Oh no.
guys.
No, I feel bad because like I know that we're about to go to do a heist and stuff like that, but I'm like I'm not wasting resources, but you know what I mean. I'm like tiring people out, so
Yeah. Also, is this the first time you've cast dancing lights?
it was like since last campaign, definitely.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, I think.
I think I've used it last time in that tomb where
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you used it in the tomb at some point.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that was like 30 sessions ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. All right, all right. Well, I'm gonna have some thing to eat, and
Alrighty.
I'll see you guys. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna message everyone to get like a grasp on what is up with like the scheduling and stuff, and then we can also, of course, discuss it in the like Discord server. But I want to just have like a little bit of a just a clearer picture of this whole scheduling issue. So, because yeah, well, that's handy for me to know. So, I'll send you guys all some messages throughout the week, and then we'll figure out something, some solution to this. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, and then we'll hope, of course, that we can get our crusher for the next session as well. Because we need to get all 5, of course. Alrighty. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys, for playing. I'll see you guys somewhere, hopefully next week, and otherwise, another.
Bye, guys.
Later, everyone.
Okey-dokey.
Bye.
Take care.
All
Bye.
right, bye, guys.
And as always, have a good one.